Well, hello and welcome to the Transits in You with my Psychic Connection. I'm Squirrel and I am going to be walking you through the energies of the week from July. I saw the 7. I had to remember what month that is. I count on my fingers. July 27th, 2023 to August 2nd, 2023. So you guys buckle up because this one is another week of what the hell is going on. There's some good stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. So we're going to start with July 27th, 2023, Thursday. And this is going to get you equipped for the next week coming up. Okay, so we start out with Mercury in Leo is conjunct Venus retrograde in Leo at exactly 28 degrees. So it's at its strongest position today. Now, this is a really actually good time to express your fondness or love for someone, as communications could be more harmonious and pleasant at this time. Now, with Venus retrograde, as somebody's re-entering your life, you really want to consider why you left, why they left, what was going on before you reconnect. But if you're already with somebody and they've stayed with you or you've stayed with them, really, really good time to express fondness and love. Okay, be sure to be putting this focus on the person you're in communication with, as Venus retrograde in Leo can often manifest as the need to be the center of attention. Now, with that said, buy yourself a present. Take yourself out to dinner. Do a spa day. Paint your nails. Do your hair, do some kind of self-love, because sometimes being the center of our own attention is exactly what we need. So don't hesitate. Just be sure you're showing that love to those other people around you too. Now, Mars in Virgo is trine Jupiter in Taurus. Now, this will bring in details to ambitions and luck to any new venture. Be in the planning stages at this point, because there is still that harsh opposition of Mars in Virgo to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and it's still in full swing, that opposition. Now, this opposition can cause frustration, anger, and disappointment in ourselves and others. If you're feeling these feelings, yes, they do belong to you, but they are being exasperated by that really, really cold-blooded opposition. No matter how you look at it, this is rough. Now, we've been experiencing this tension since July 14th, and it will finally pass out of this aspect on July 30th. So that particular aspect is lessening. Now, while stress may be lessening now, it could still interfere with that beautiful trine between Mars and Jupiter. So plan now for a new endeavor, but wait until August to put any plans into action. The trine between Mars and Jupiter will last until August 14th, so we will actually still have time to get the action started. And the common belief with this particular trine, any endeavor started at this time between that trine between Mars and Virgo to Jupiter and Taurus, is bound to bring in success. It's bound to bring in luck. So just hold off for a little while, and if you at least get it started with commitment, you will do wonders. Okay? So still on July 27th, Thursday, you guys, there's a lot of information here today. So at 8:24 p.m. Eastern, the moon will transit into Sagittarius. Now, this will greatly offset that opposition between Mars and Saturn. Sagittarius will bring in a strong optimism and spontaneity, lessening that anger some. So let it in. Let that optimism in. Now, with that opposition, you might be tempted to say, well, bah humbug, Christmas in July, right? Don't let that optimism and spontaneity in, because you may be tempted to jump right into something new. But with the opposition in effect, proper planning is encouraged, but we really all need a dose of that optimism. And speaking of optimism, if you haven't caught the Cackling Witch's Den with Psychic Rose, talk about uplifting, optimistic, beautiful, beautiful soul. She's on tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So if you need a shot of that feel good, you guys come see the Cackling Witch's Den with Psychic Rose tonight at 10. That brings us on to July 28th. 2023. It's a Friday. So all of yesterday's transits apply to today with 2 new additions, okay? At 5:30 p.m., 5:31 p.m. Eastern, Mercury moves into Virgo. So dealing with details is beautifully natural and comfortable now, taking a little bit of the spontaneity out of that Sagittarius moon, but it's really good for us. We want to be paying attention to details and any kind of planning. So during this cycle of Mercury, we can analyze our lives and decide what is necessary and what is impractical for us. So try not to get so lost in those details of a topic or a venture that you don't enjoy the process. Because if we just focus only on the details, we lose a lot of the ability to move forward. So do pay attention, but don't get mired in them. Now, the Sun in Leo is square Jupiter in Taurus. Now, while this transit can feel amazing, it does come with some special difficulties. This square can make you feel extremely confident, proud, and of course optimistic. But be sure to use moderation and respect in communications, or you may come across as arrogant, okay? Don't overdo anything right now. For while you may feel like you can conquer the world, limitations do still apply to us. We're still human. So there can be a tendency to wear oneself out during this transit, and this particular square can bring about a large amount of generosity. So be sure not to give away more than you can comfortably give, because it will bring out. These are some challenges. Now it sounds like, oh wow, this is so great, and it is all good, but it can bring it truly brings in the challenge of overdoing something. So if you can meet the challenges of this square and remember to take care of yourself too, much can be accomplished. That brings us to July 29th, 2023, Saturday. All of the transits from yesterday are still in process right now. So that's a lot of transits, y'all. Mars in Virgo is still opposition to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. It's the last day of it though, but doesn't mean it's over. Hang in there, you guys. Now, we will still have to struggle with that low self-esteem and negative thinking. We may also have a tendency to expect or believe the worst of people in situations in this opposition. And this has been going on for a while. So we do want to use the optimism from that Leo square. So keep your mind busy with something productive in order to avoid this pessimism, something that you enjoy doing or something that moves you forward so you don't get stuck in those feelings. Now, we do have the moon in Saturn in Sagittarius most of the day, but at 11:45 p.m. Eastern, the moon will move into Capricorn, and that will really fill us with a need for structure and proper planning. So honestly, this moon really couldn't have come at a better time, because it will give us the ability to focus on keeping our minds active and moving forward. So harness that Capricorn energy to keep from spiraling into depression, and remember that all of these transits are temporary. It keeps going, and this too shall pass. So y'all, don't forget, we have some amazing YouTube specific content, and our daily YouTubes that you can catch every single day of the week, including Saturday and Sunday. We've got Card of the Day with Cassidy the Card Slinger, and we've got Angel Numbers of the Day with Destiny K. Be sure to check them out. I promise you'll be hooked. Might even do some binge watching. And that brings us to July 30th, 2023. It is Sunday. So remember yesterday or first Saturday, I said that that was the last day for that opposition between Mars in Virgo to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. It's finally over. And Mercury lined right up to take over that opposition. So today we are starting off with Mercury in Virgo in an opposition to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Ugh. Now, while it's not as horrible as that Mars to Saturn opposition, it's still kind of brutal. Now, it will affect our thinking, our thought process. We might jump to conclusions. Be sure not to jump to conclusions and not to get angry before you have all the information, because that particular opposition, those two signs, Virgo to Pisces, can bring on jumping into conclusions and jumping straight into grr and arg. Don't let yourself do that. And remember, we still have that amazing trine between Mars and Virgo to Jupiter and Taurus to help us through, to help us balance. Use that ability from that aspect to not get tied up in a wad. So, and we also have the beneficial square, which sounds so weird to say a beneficial square, the optimism and the confidence between the Sun in Leo and Jupiter to Taurus to lessen that angst of this new opposition that we didn't even get to take a break from the last one. Thank you, Virgo. So we also have weekly YouTube specific content. So you guys, we've got, and even more always coming in. So ring that bell, because that'll notify you of anything new we make, and you just don't want to miss a thing. So the weekly content, we have the Enchanted spread with Psychic K. I think that's one of my favorite things in the world. Fairy tales, folklore, and tarot, and she is amazing. Then we have Spilling the Tea with Psychic Energy. She actually reads tea leaves for us for the week. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so cool. I never experienced that before, and I'm just thrilled with it. And of course, you have the transits in you with me, Psychic Skwirl. So you guys ring that bell so you don't miss anything. And we do have always more content that's going to be coming out, and you just don't want to miss anything new. And that brings us to July 31st, 2023, Monday. So we end the month with no changes to yesterday's transits. Everything in place yesterday is still here, so it's a little tough. Now, the only changes, so all our aspects are the same, but the moon does move into Aquarius at 11:58 p.m. Eastern. So this can be a little bit challenging us on balancing emotion to logic. So this moon can bring many of us sweeping our emotions under the rug. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather favor intellect and abstract ideas than deal with all the crap that's on my plate right now. But without the balance, our decisions can go astray. So at least acknowledge your feelings at this time. You don't necessarily have to do anything with them, but don't just push them under or suppress them, or you're going to explode with all that other stuff going on in the sky right now. Acknowledge those emotions. Deal with them if you can. And if you can't deal with them right now, promise yourself that you will deal with them at a later date. Okay? Excuse me. Excuse me again. So tonight, we have Psychic K, the intuitive empath, at 10 p.m. Eastern. So if you are having any difficulties with these transits in the sky, or you want some help exploring these emotions that you're trying to overcome, she's your girl. Be there or be square. So that brings us to August 1st, 2023. It's a Tuesday. We have a full moon in Aquarius today at 2:31 p.m. Eastern. Now, this full moon is a supermoon. This just means that the moon's orbit is perigee, or closest, that's what perigee means, to the Earth at the same time that it is full. Excuse me. I had to get that frog out of my throat. Now, this full moon is perfect for exploring freedom and independence. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to leave everybody behind. unless, of course, you've been thinking about it and there are very good reasons for you to do so. But what it does mean is learning to take some time for yourself without feeling guilty. Full moons are great for manifesting, bringing things in, shedding light on something, and also pushing things away. So if you're in one of those relationships with anybody where you feel guilty to take time for yourself, having some freedom or independence, you need to really take a look at that tonight and see, what can I do about this that is best for me and best for everyone involved? So all of the other transits from the rest of the week are still in effect. We got some long transits going on, y'all. And tonight, if you really want some help with this full moon and manifestation, be sure to watch Psychic Energy, the metaphysical crone. She is phenomenal, and she's really amazing at manifestation and pointing you in the right direction on how to overcome those things, how to gain that independence and freedom. And she's on at 10 p.m. Eastern. And that brings us to August 2nd, 2023. Again, there are no changes to the actual aspects from Saturday. The square between there's still the square between the Sun in Leo and Jupiter in Taurus. We still have Mars in Virgo trine to Jupiter in Taurus, as well as Mars in Virgo in opposition to Saturn retrograde in Pisces. So you're still feeling these effects. The moon, however, does move into Pisces at 11:06 p.m. Eastern, and that'll bring about a softer, dreamier disposition. We will no longer be in that focused emotions don't exist. We'll be able to look at those emotions. So if you failed to acknowledge those emotions during that Aquarius moon, now would be a really good time to dive deeply to help you understand your feelings. Just be sure not to get angry at yourself for past mistakes or delays or any of that. Accept that as just things that are going through right now. And this will, that horrible opposition will be in effect until August 6th. But we do have some amazing, that trine and that square, that are really helping to offset it. And this Pisces moon can do the same thing for you. So you harness the energies that you want and overcome the challenges so you can get through this really ridiculous opposition. And tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, oh my gosh, we got We Psychics 3, where you get Psychics Rose, Energy, and Kay all at the same time. You guys, if you need a good laugh, if you need some great information and advice, be sure to catch My Psychic Connection tonight with We Psychics 3. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and never ever miss a thing. It was great to see you. I will see you again next week. Mwah. Love y'all. Bye.
Now what's this now?